Seriously, M&D.
Melissa.
I'm Donna. I'm her mother.
I'm her daughter. And we are Seriously M&D. Welcome back to our third episode. And this episode we are titling, Wait a Minute. No.
Yes, we are. And the weight is W-E-I-G-H-T.
Okay. So this episode, what we're going to be focusing on is 2 different lifestyle changes that my mom and I have made in the last, mine's been in the last year, and hers has been in the last...
Almost 2 years.
Okay, so I'm going to be talking a little bit about keto, how I've done that, and how it's worked for me, and how it's really helped me in the last 6 months. And my mom's going to be talking about...
Ideal protein, which kind of overlaps with keto.
Yes, so I'm going to start today, or you going to start today?
No, you can go first.
I'm going first. Okay, so how I want to start this episode, and I was telling my mom, I was in the car like, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about. This is what I'm going to say. So I have tried diets, and for my mom and I, we talked about it. That 4-letter word is like a no-no to us, diet. Unless it's Diet Coke. But I always was looking at diets as I need to look like this. If I want to look like this, I have to eat like this. I need to follow this strict regimen. And if I don't, I won't look how I want to. I won't look how society says you need to look. So when I've kind of stumbled upon keto, and if you don't know keto, it's more of no sugar, no carbs, higher protein, higher fats. Well, it had all the foods that I really enjoy, which was nice because when making a lifestyle change, it's hard. And I know my mom's going to talk on this, but if everyone else in your family is doing, or if you're doing a lifestyle change, but everyone else in your family is staying the same, it's hard to do it for yourself and do it for your family. But with keto, my husband and I, it fit really well into our current lifestyle. So I've been doing it for 6 months. I've seen great results. It works really well for me. I didn't go out and buy a bunch of keto books. I went online and I Googled it and I did my own research and I figured out recipes on Pinterest. I'm a big Pinterest person, so I love following the recipes just quickly on my phone. So everything I did with keto, I did it on my own. I didn't go out and purchase a bunch of stuff to do this lifestyle change. Mm-hmm. And one thing I also wanted to mention is not everyone, maybe keto won't work for everybody or ideal protein won't work for everybody, but finding something that works well for you and you enjoying it and you seeing results for yourself is what matters. And I know you can agree with this, but
right. Did you order the keto book or did you just pick it up here, in bookstores?
That was my neighbor's.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't buy that. Follow a lot of Instagram influencers who are keto too, so they're always posting in their stories and on their posts different recipes, different desserts. And that was a big thing for me, is I like desserts and I like to snack, and having 2 toddlers, I'm always snacking. And I can say now that since I lost the weight that I want to, and I'm so comfortable where I am now, that I cheat often, but I do it in moderation. I'll eat, if my girls are eating cookies or chips, I will very happy and confident with where I'm at because of keto and how I've built it into my lifestyle. And for you as viewers, I want you to be able to know that just because I did keto and it worked for me doesn't mean that it'll necessarily work for you. But if you go out and you do the research and you take the time to find out what it is that you want to do and narrow it down and find what works for you, then you're able to finally feel comfortable in your own skin.
Did you set a goal for yourself, like in pounds, or did you measure yourself? Did you want to lose so many pounds or inches? How'd you do that?
I ended up having to tell myself that I cannot look at the scale. For me, working...
Yeah, that's hard.
And working at, I worked at a pool, so I was always so cautious about how I looked, and I didn't want people to judge me. So I would look up the craziest diets to do, and it was diets that were like 500 calories a day. And that's just not doable for really most people. So what I want to challenge our viewers is, and after my mom gives you a little spiel on hers, if it's something that you're interested in, go research it. Just take a second to Google it. You don't need to go spend a lot of money. Just figure out what works best for you and how you can implement it into your daily life. And having kids now, it is a lot harder to implement a lifestyle change because they're picky eaters or they don't like certain foods that I eat. But I've gotten them on board for the most part to eat most of the things that I do eat. So
that's a good thing.
Yes.
That's a good thing. So you were able to cook for your family of 4.
Yes, I was able to cook meals. My husband's like he enjoys wings and steak and beer. So I was able to cook. You can have certain types of wings and you can obviously have steak. So I was able to just look up recipes and I tried recipes. Now, I'm not a huge cook. Like, I'm not a big cooker kind of thing. Like, yeah, she's looking at me because she knows that I don't.
She's not a big cooker.
I'm not a big cooker, or I don't like to clean up either. So, but
that's a whole nother episode.
My kitchen.
No, that's the comparing the millennial to the baby boomer. But anyway, we digress. Go on.
But with keto, I did notice there were a few things that I had to take the time to cook. But there were other things where I'm really weird. I don't like touching raw chicken. So what I've been using a lot is rotisserie chicken. It's the easiest, and you can use that in so many different ways. And my mom and I were talking about maybe sharing some different recipes that I've liked with keto, or when she talks about ideal protein, maybe we'll share some recipes that have really worked for us and our family, and that could help you. But research is the biggest thing, and the last thing I'm going to say is just remember that you are doing any change that you're making in your life is for you. It's not for anybody else. It's not for anyone else to judge. You do you.
Very
Now
nice.
I'm done talking. Now my mom's gonna talk.
Okay. Okay. So about 2 years ago, I met with a friend. We were both in education, so we would meet in the summertime. And we met for lunch, and I noticed a weight change. She had lost some weight, and she was very excited to tell me about it. And she told me about ideal protein. So at that time, I felt that I needed to lose weight and inches, but I've always been able to camouflage it in the clothes that I wear. So people say, oh, you don't need to lose, you don't need to lose. People say that, and you're like, you can feel your clothes getting tighter. So because I'm so competitive and competitive with myself more than anybody, I thought I'm just gonna wait till I get to a certain weight, and then I'm gonna do something. So my husband and I went and met with the coach for Ideal Protein, and her name in Las Vegas, her name is Pam, and she's excellent. So we met and we got weighed in, and if you're not familiar with it, it is very high protein, carbs, no fruit, things like that. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting because you have to take like a wet wipe to wipe your hands and the bottoms of your feet, because you get on this really high-techy kind of scale, and it measures your body fat, your lean body mass, your water intake, different things. It was really interesting. And so at that time I thought, I'm committing to this. So I weighed in, and then I was starting at a certain day. I think it was starting maybe 2 weeks later. So I think I was in conjunction with the first day of school. And she said, are you sure you want to do this? You know, it's really going to be a lifestyle change. And I said, no, I'm going to do it. And I did. My husband opted not to do it because he was not ready to give up milk. And that was a key thing, even non-fat milk. In the first few weeks of it, where your body's going through ketosis, you couldn't have any milk. And he was a big milk drinker, and it's coffee and cereal and just drinking milk. So I was on my own, and I did it on my own, but it is an investment monetarily. You do need to buy their food, and that's where it's different from what Melissa's doing. So I thought, okay, so it's broken up into 4 phases. So phase 1, you eat their food for breakfast, you eat their food for lunch, and then you eat 2 cups of certain vegetables that they have listed that you can choose from. And since I was teaching at the time, I had to make it really easy. So I loved it because I loved the chocolate shakes, and I had that every morning. It was just perfect. And then for lunch, I would get something, it looked like a Rice Krispie treat, but it was like a vanilla crisp. So I'd bring that to school.
It's good too.
Yeah, and then I would cut red peppers or celery. There was, I forget what else I just ate the same things all of the time. No carrots at that time. And then I had what's called a restricted snack. From after school, I would eat my restricted snack. And then at dinner time, I would eat 8 ounces of whatever protein was listed for that particular phase. So it was easy for me to have chicken. So I'd have 8 ounces of chicken, and I wasn't crazy where I was measuring with the scale. I kind of eyeballed it. I would buy the chicken in the store, and I'd see it was, 16 ounces, and I'd break it up that way. And then I would grill it on my little George Foreman grill in the yard, and then I would cut it up and I'd put it on in a salad of spinach leaves, because spinach was a vegetable that I could have, and I had to have 2 cups of that at night. So I just make a salad, and I was really religious about doing it because I figured if I'm investing this money, I'm following this to the T. I did not weigh at home because their scale is almost 5 to 6 pounds heavier than my scale. So I would go once a week to get weighed in after school, and it was always about 4:30. So you have your clothes on and you're kind of heavy at your heaviest.
Wouldn't you say though that kept you able to hold accountable, because if
Oh,
you
yeah.
have someone to go to every week,
Yeah.
that's
And we kept a journal, and here's what the journal, here's what the journal looks like. And you would just keep it, each phase is a little different. And you keep a log of what you're eating. And you had to drink 2 liters of water a day. So that was a bit of a problem, because if you're teaching, I'd get to school, and by the time I got to school and my day started at 9 a.m., I think I've already gone to the restroom about 4 times because I had so much water. And then I didn't get a break until lunch, which was noon, so I had to watch when I did that. And then eat, and then have a potty break again before lunch ends, and then I would go pick up my class, and then my prep time was about 12:45 to 1:30-ish. So, and then after school I was ready for their snack. But it is very scripted what you do, and I think I like that because I want to be told, whereas her way, she's making stuff. And the one problem that is different from hers and mine, where it works better, because I'm doing this, I'm kind of focusing on me. Now my husband, I really didn't want to cook for him and then do this for me. So I would make flank steak. That was another thing. And so he would have that, and then I would do my thing, what I was eating. And then my son was in, what was last year? Okay, so he was a senior in high school when I first started this. So that wasn't great because I wasn't cooking for him like I guess I could have been cooking for him. So I think when you do it as a family like she's doing it, it's a little bit better because everyone's on the same page. I'm still doing it, and I'm on phase 4, which is kind of a maintenance phase. So I'm coming up on 2 years of doing it, end of August. And I'm to the point now, and I like phase 4 because it allows you to have 1 cheat day. So my cheat day is Sunday, and back on Monday, I start back on phase 1. So that's where it goes cheat day Sunday, phase 1 Monday, and then back on phase 4 until my cheat day again. You have 1 cheat day a week. And I have to say that I cheat on my cheat day. I will go to Cane's and get chicken fingers and fries and my love of Diet Coke. That's another thing. You couldn't have any soda, of course. And we are big Diet Coke lovers, and that's going to be dedicated to another episode down the road here.
Just
Diet Coke. But anyway, another thing that I am a lover of is gum chewing. In fact, we watched ourselves on the first episode, and I thought I had my gum up here enough where I used to be able to hide it when I was in school as a student, but I noticed myself doing stuff, so I'm not going to have gum in my mouth. But there was, I think the name of the gum, when I asked my coach, I said, you can't have any gum, you can't have sugar. She goes, no, there's one kind, I think it was called Spree. I forget. Anyway, something like that. But you could get it at Sprouts, a store here in town, or Whole Foods, but a store that I shop at sold it, so I would get like 4 packs a week because I would chew it just to have it in my mouth. But then I felt like it was
But I like how you said that you did it for you.
Yeah.
You did it for you, and you knew what you wanted to get at. So you were standing on that scale that they have every week.
Yeah, and that was interesting because every week that I went from that end of August until the following summer, I never gained. There was one time when I maintained from the prior week, but it was interesting because I saw the pounds going. I mean, I think my first weigh-in after I started the program, maybe after 2 weeks, I think I'd lost maybe 4 pounds, and that was a lot. And then I would lose maybe a pound here. You know, it wasn't anything dramatic, but it was consistent. But she would measure me, and I could feel my clothes changing, and I needed to downsize my clothes. The one thing I noticed was last May, we had a dance at our school for our 5th graders, and I took a picture of myself with my students, and I got the picture back, and it was a sleeveless dress I had on, and I thought, oh my gosh, I looked emaciated. My arms looked so bony. My face looked gaunt because I do have a long face anyway, and it just looked, oh my gosh. So I had lunch with some friends in the summer, and a couple of people, I think, not last summer, I think it was at Christmas time we had lunch, and one of my friends said, oh, you put on a little bit more weight, and I said, yeah, I lost about 30 pounds when I started doing this. This was less than a year, 30 pounds. And she said, well, you looked emaciated last year when we saw you. And I said, oh, wow, thanks. Thank you for sharing that with me. So I said to my other friend, I said to my other friend, gee, why didn't you tell me I looked too thin? And she said, because you felt so good about yourself, I wasn't going to spoil that. But even my husband would say, you've lost enough, you've lost enough. And I just think
what do you think?
Well, I think you just get that feeling. It's like, wow, and you just keep going. And then it was because I'm so competitive with myself. Then it came to, okay, I'd get on the scale. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try and get down to this weight. Another pound, because I'd gotten down to a weight that I was before I was married, and that was over 30 years ago. And then I thought, wow, but it does work. It costs money because it was almost over $100 a week. So then I thought, okay, well, the $100 I'm spending here a week, I'm not spending on junk or other stuff. And it was, I mean, I didn't go through drive-through. I didn't go through any drive-throughs because I couldn't get anything. But I really liked it, only because it was so structured, and I'm so type A, and I'm so that way. But I definitely would recommend it to people. It is a protein lifestyle.
And I was, before I decided, a few months before I decided to do keto, I was considering doing Ideal Protein, but it just didn't fit into my current lifestyle.
And then, right, I mean, you're married 6 years, I mean, you're a one-income family now, and it's not conducive to your budget. It was just, I mean, I could afford to do it. And I don't really have anybody at home to have to cook to. Have to cook to. So, but the one thing that is interesting when you go in and weigh in, they give you this little, I gotta get myself printout, and you can't see it from here. But anyway, it says, you know, your height, your weight, the day, the time, your body weight is blank, the sum of your body fat is blank. Interesting to see how much body fat you have in you. Your lean body mass, that's what they want to be higher, your lean body mass. They don't want your body fat to be higher, they want that to be lower. Total body water, interesting. So they give you a range of where they would like you to be for your weight and your height, not your weight, your age, your height, things like that. So I achieved it.
That's a good guide, though. That's a nice guide to have.
And I achieved it, and then I just thought, you know what? And then after the summer last year, I kind of cheated. Then I went back because I hadn't gotten weighed in. The year was up, and you can continue on weighing in if you want. You have to pay another fee for the year. And I just thought, okay, I'll go weigh in. And I put on, and it's like, ugh, you know, it was just like seeing that. And then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to give myself a ballpark. So right now when I weigh myself, I see the scale at home, and I'll put 5 pounds on thinking of that'll equal to their scale there. But I haven't gotten weighed in in a couple months now, and I'm very happy with where I'm at. But I still need to buy their products. I need to buy the products for my phase 1 Mondays after my cheat day. And I'll continue to do that.
And like I said in the beginning, for me, like stepping on a scale, it's kind of like gives you anxiety sometimes.
It does.
It's like so much pressure to, in your mind, to think of where you need to be and how you need to look. So how she said she feels great now, I am feeling great and almost to a point where like I feel so good about myself, and that's where you want to be. That's where you need to be. You need to do it for yourself and not for anyone else.
And then I was telling Melissa that there are just certain things in your body frame or how you're made up that you can't change. Your bone structure.
Everyone's different.
I know that my mother was one daughter out of 5. She had 5 girls in her family, and they all had pretty hefty thighs. It was just, that's how they were made up. So my sister and I both, we call it the Eaton syndrome. That was my mother's maiden name, because we all have bigger thighs. And so right now, because I've been walking 5 days a week and I walk about 6.2 miles a day, I look at myself and I think I'm happy with how I am right now. And I'm a few pounds heavier than I was when I got to that ridiculously low weight. So I put back weight, and I'm happy with how I look, because I look at myself and I know my age, and I'm saying, you know what, I'm content. My clothes fit the way I want them to fit, and I'm going to eat certain foods, and I do. I do cheat pretty much every day with something little.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting there eating a bag of marshmallows or anything like that. But
it's in moderation.
Yeah, and you're just more watchful.
Yeah, and when you can be more, I feel like when you have an idea in your mind of what your goal is and where you want to be, and you have a little bit of a structure. I know for me and you, structure is, I want to know, what I need to do, what I need to eat. I need to see like lists and all that kind of stuff. So once you have an idea of where you want to be, then I think it's easier to achieve it when you have it in your mind and you have it written down and you've done the research for it.
You know, what else I was going to say about ideal protein? You do lose the inches. I mean, for a few of the first phases, they measure you. You know, your arms, your waist, blah, blah. I did notice that when I lost all that weight and I got to a point before I saw myself in that picture with my class, that the pants I wore, my butt was just so saggy in all the pants, and it drove me crazy. So I asked my coach about it, and she gave me different exercises, squats and stuff. I'm thinking, yeah, but I don't want to wear something and have my butt look so flat. And it just didn't look right. And the clothes fit in the waist, but then I look in the back and it's like just too saggy. So I wasn't happy with that as far as that went. But I fixed that, and I'm okay.
And now
I'm okay. Yeah, my butt's not saggy.
I wasn't asking that.
My clothes fit fine. It's just that it just got a little too crazy when I started getting a little more. No, see, she wants to hog up the whole viewer, see?
Hold on,
she doesn't care that her mother is off to the side.
We're still very new at this video.
Well, actually, this is our first episode that Melissa is
not on a phone this time.
Yeah, she's taping on her video camera that she's had since she had her first child, but she's only used it once. Was probably it was
meant to be. That's why we're meant to use this camera for these episodes.
So anyhow, that's where we're coming across today. Wait a minute, because the biggest thing we have to remember, and we'd like to impart on you, is that you have to be the one that says, you know what, I want to make a change. Yep. And if you're happy with yourself, or if you're not happy with how you look, and you need to, have somebody push you. That's what I did. I mean, I needed to see a visual from somebody else. And I'm like,
that it worked, that it worked for them. And
right.
I did have people who did keto and that enjoyed it and had so many positive things to say about it. Now, does every lifestyle change have its negatives? Yes, like it's not gonna be, you're following a regimen and you're making this change throughout your daily life. So once you get the hang of it, I feel, it becomes slightly easier. So if you do decide to make a lifestyle change, don't think that in the first week you're gonna see, because that was always me. Like I would always be looking up and I would see on social media, 5 ways to lose 10 pounds in a week. And for me, that was not doable. Like it was not doable, and I couldn't meet those expectations. So I had to realize that I needed to make this lifestyle change, and it would take time to see results. But when I did see them, and not on a scale, when I saw them in the mirror, it made all the difference for me. And we're not experts. I want to say that right now. We are not experts. We are not saying that this is for you or not for you, but
we have tried our share of diets.
Yes, and we don't like that word.
Yeah.
So we look at this as a lifestyle change, and we encourage you, if this is something you wanted to try or research, just what's the hurt in looking into it? And I think from this, something we want you to take from it is that you deciding and making the choice to have a lifestyle change, you have to understand that it's not something that is with the snap of a finger. You have to be consistent, you have to stick to it, and you have to understand that you're going to gradually make a change. And for me and my mom, it was for the better, and now we almost, we're giving our
testimony.
Yeah, on how we actually both we both benefited from two totally different, lifestyle regimens, and they worked for us. Like I said, we are not experts on this, but if you do have questions for us, or you're interested in maybe ideal protein and want more information, I'm not a huge keto expert, but I can definitely share some bomb, and I mean bomb, recipes that I have tried that my husband likes, which is really hard for me to find recipes that he likes. So if he likes them, it must mean they're really good. And if that's something you're interested in, just comment below and we'll give you that information, and we'd be happy to help and encourage you and motivate you to do what is best for you and focus on you.
Thank you for watching, and we hope you catch us on our next episode. And just remember that it's seriously okay to be you.
See ya!
Bye. Okay.